What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Emboar in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoy these, they help you think, drop a like and let's get into it. So, Emboar is a Pokemon that probably doesn't see that much usage, but it still has some pretty cool things. So let's have a look at its stats and abilities to start with. So we got a nice attack stat and health stat, and it actually doesn't have that bad a special attack to it, but most people are going to be using as a physical user. So we've got a couple of abilities here. We've got Blaze, of course, and we've got Reckless. Now, Reckless is going to boost any attacks with recoil or crash damage by 1.2 times, and it actually does get quite a few moves that fall into this category. So I'm going to go over our first set, which is going to be a choice band set, which works pretty well across the board here. Now, first we've got its main fire type stab with 120 base. We've got Flare Blitz, of course. It also has Head Smash, which is pretty interesting too. It is a little bit shaky and actually, but it has very, very nice base power, obviously at 150, and that's going to give us a way to hit other fire types and flying types and stuff like that, but maybe a little bit of an optional move that you could swap out. I've got Wild Charge on here as well, and I've got Terra Electric. So Wild Charge is very good for opposing water types and electric types and stuff like that, and I've also got Close Combat on here too. So Close Combat has got a nice high base power. Obviously, we're not getting anything for Reckless, but you know, all the others are sort of benefiting from that. Now, the build sort of goes a couple of ways. Now, this one I would probably run under. You could run this normally or under Trick Room. If you've got Trick Room, you can always go like Brave Nature and, you know, dump the you don't want to have any speed IVs there, so as low as speed IVs as you can, preferably 0. And it's pretty slow, right? So you can definitely get away with that. I find with Emboar, you could give it some speed investment, but I feel it's like super slow still. Like, there's not really much point, unless you're playing like some hyper-specific rules or something like that, whatever. But I really don't feel the speed investment is that great on Emboar, unless you've got a move to boost it like, you know, Flame Charge or Trailblaze or something like that. Most of the time, I feel it's not all that worth it. So get that extra bulk, and you know you're going to probably get outsped anyway, so you may as well put it into bulk, right? So I reckon Terra Electric is the best Terra on this because it actually gives you very, very few weaknesses. So you're only going to be weak to ground type Pokemon, which is going to be you know, pretty good. And then you've got a Terra Electric, right? So any flying types that come out there, you can hit that with a powerful electric type. And you also, with Wild Charge, you're also getting that Reckless boost of 1.2 times. And Wild Charge's got pretty good base power too. So that is an option that you could possibly, you know, go for there. It's also got a couple of resistances like, you know, like flying, of course, opposing electric and like steel type, so it resists a few things, but that gives it its least weaknesses. It does have some other terrors that you actually can go for. You could go for fire as well if you want to make, you know, Flare Blitz more powerful, or you could have like fighting to make close combat. You know, I just like Terra Electric. It's a nice surprise, and any water type, like even bulky water type Pokemon are going to get hit hard by this, right? Especially with Choice Spam. Head Smash is kind of like hyper specific. Something like a Charizard would be pretty cool, or any like opposing fire type Pokemon. Mainly, I'd say opposing fire type Pokemon. Head Smash would be good for, but just bear in mind if you are going to use Head Smash, it doesn't have a lot of PP and it's shaky accuracy, and you've got Choice Band. So that's a little bit of one you could possibly swap out. I've got some options for it too. You could possibly run Knockoff. Now, Knockoff is definitely a decent move to run. Obviously, being part fighting type, you know, fire and fighting, it's going to be weak to any psychic type moves. So that could be an option. It actually gets Sucker Punch too, which is pretty nice. So this sort of makes up for you having no speed EVs, and you can, you know, you still punch any of those psychic types, you know, for pretty hard damage, or just, you know, finish things off with a powerful Choice Band. I'd probably go Knockoff though over Sucker Punch with Choice Band. And another option you can have too is Terra Dark. Terra Dark is still pretty good because, say, if you got any psychic types, you can go Terra Dark and you can basically get a free turn there to get, you know, some nice damage on them, and or to boost up the power of Knockoff. So that's some options you could have there for Emboar. Like I said, apart from its fire and fighting stabs, I'd say dark or electric are pretty decent. You could run some other cool stuff like Terra Blast on it. You got like Terra Blast Grass if you want to try get some extra coverage against hyper specific Pokemon. I don't know, like a Swampert or something like that. You also got stuff like Terra Water you could use, another way to hit opposing fire types, rock types and things like that. So there are some other more gimmicky ones, but I like electric and dark. They're probably the best ones. And this definitely has the bulk to survive an attack and then hit hard. The only thing about it is Emboar won't really last very long. It's going to get worn down very, very quickly using Flare Blitz and Wild Charge, etc. All these moves like that, and also if there's any entry hazards on the field too. Depending, this can definitely work in doubles too. Choice Bandit set. It can work in doubles and singles. Let's now have a look at a different variant of Emboar. I like to run Assault Vest on this too. It works good in singles and doubles too, so this could apply to both really. Now, this is sort of built for more singles, but for doubles you'd probably replace Drain Punch for close combat. Just bear that in mind. So I've got Assault Vest on here, same sort of EV build. I like running this one tanky. It just works. And we've got Flare Blitz, Earthquake, which is pretty good for coverage, Sucker Punch, and Drain Punch. Drain Punch works well with Assault Vest too. It gives you health back there, so you can go for a Flare Blitz and then you can get your health back with Drain Punch, so you might be able to get another Flare Blitz off without fainting and stuff like that. Sucker Punch, obviously we talked about that, giving it a priority move, getting around some of those annoying Psychic type Pokemon. Earthquake's more just a coverage move on Emboar, so it's a high base power move, maybe some other rock type Pokemon. Then again, a lot of the time you do be using Drain Punch anyway, so that's more of I'd say just more hyper offensive or any real counters. So you could even swap it out for something else if you really, really wanted to. I'd probably go ahead. Let's pick up. So you can even do something silly like this. You could have a Flame Charge on there as well, so you could boost your speed and then Drain Punch as well. There are ways like that. You've also got Trailblaze too. That's another way to boost your speed and have a grass type move too. So that's something to think about too. Make yourself a bulky but speedy Pokemon. That is definitely another option that you could consider there. If you're worrying about flying types, you could put Stone Edge on there too. Obviously there's no benefit for Reckless, but it gives you a way to for those flying types too. So that's also something you maybe could consider. Another item you could possibly run, if you don't want to run a Assault Vest, you can put Heavy Duty Boots. This is definitely, Heavy Duty Boots is definitely more for singles, so disregard that for doubles. But yeah, you could easily run something like this in doubles for sure if you want a really, really tanky set. I would probably get rid of Drain Punch though. I'd load it up with something like Close Combat, so it's going to hit a lot harder. And yeah, I really like having Wild Charge on there, so I kind of like that, that would give you some good, definitely some great coverage there. And I like Terra Electric too. Terra Electric fighting, we sort of talked about it in this Choice Band one. So essentially you could run this Choice Band one as an Assault Vest, right? Same kind of thing. All right, this is another sort of double sort of style Emboar here, but like I said, you could definitely use that Assault Vest and the Choice Band one in doubles. Don't let that stop you. Not that Emboar sees that much usage in doubles and singles and stuff like that, but I thought up this cool set here with Rock Slide. So we've got Terra Rock. This gets around any flying types. We've got Reckless here. That's really only going to be for Flare Blitz. And I've got Protect and Hammer Arm. So this one, as you can see, is a Trick Room set. So we're going to be going first under Trick Room and trying to flinch the opponents with Rock Slide. Hammer Arm is there to drop your speed if you come across any real slow Pokemon or any mirror matchups or someone in the same sort of speed stat there. That's good for dropping the speed. Again, you've got Protect for any Fake Out and other things like that. And I've put Citrus Berry on there too, so that's going to allow me maybe to get another Flare Blitz off. Another item you could put on this is Covert Cloak too. That could be useful to get rid of any secondary attacks. You might play around with Protect then and not put that on there, but Yeah, there are some other options that you could do for that. If you really are worried about not going first, you could put room service on there too, dropping your speed. But 65 base speed with 0 IVs is pretty dang slow. So I think you'd probably be right there in case you come across like a super dedicated Trick Room team, right? Something like that. Now, that sort of like there's some. I would say Choice Band and Assault Vest are going to be like the more standardy sets that you see mostly. We're sort of going into more gimmick territory here. Let's talk a little bit now about some teammates and some counters and stuff like that for Emboar. Not that it's really hard to counter this Pokemon at all. It's not very hard. And also some like damage calculations too. Let's think of some popular. So like for... Let's say, what's the problem? Like, obviously, like, I'm trying to think of some, so Goldengo, for example, gets one-shotted by Flare Blitz. Even, like, I think even defensive variants get absolutely, like, blown away by that. We've also got, I'm thinking, what was my other, like, Ursaluna. I reckon Ursaluna Blood Moon. I believe the Choice Band set can absolutely demolish that in one shot, which is really good. So there's some like interesting calcs for you if you're curious about that. I don't know without the Choice Band though. I think it would be pretty close. Without the Choice Band, it's still going to do a lot. So there's some interesting sort of like little damage calculations for you there. What about? I'm trying to think of some other ones like Ogerpon and stuff like I guess Half Flame. So. This one here, actually, you see Ogerpon a lot, so this is definitely going to be wrecked by... I know we were talking about this at the start. You know how I was talking about Head Smash and stuff like that? This does get one-shotted by Head Smash, which is really cool. So if you are packing that on your Assault Vest set as a surprise for Ogerpon, that does get one-shot, like the generic, max speed, max attack sweeping one. So that's another interesting damage calc there as well. Now... For teams and stuff like that, you'd probably run a good partner. I was going to say, this is a good partner and a good counter as well. So Urshifu Rapid Strike is a good partner, singles, doubles, and it's also a good counter as well to Emboar. You can't, like, Emboar is going to get absolutely destroyed by Surging Strike. So that's another, it's a pretty good partner there. Trying to think of some other Flutter. No, Dragapult would be a pretty good counter. Unless, of course, you had Sucker Punch or Knockoff, it's going to be taking most of those moves. That's another counter. I mean, it's not really exactly a hard Pokemon to counter. Like, let's be real about that. Some other partners you could possibly run on there. Let's have a look. Dondozo's a good one for doubles. That's going to cover almost everything. Any grass moves, Emboar can sort of sponge. Grass Pokemon you can deal with, and electric types as well. We can go Terra Electric, and you could also run like a ground type move. Trying to think on the doubles one, you could put Stomping. It does have Stomping. Actually, I believe it has high horsepower. Yeah, high horsepower as well is another way if you want to get around any electric types. I just thought I'd mention that move there. But that's sort of another partner there for Emboar. Let's have a look at some more sets there. So this one's, I'd say, definitely more of a singles one, for definitely a singles one, but have a look anyway. It's kind of interesting. So this is like a fat Drain Punch set. So we got max health, max special defense, careful nature, that really tanking up special defense. So we can live some attacks. So we've got Bulk Up. It does get Bulk Up, which is pretty cool. You could try and run, just as I'm mentioning Bulk Up, you could try and run a Bulk Up on one of these other variants here. Say, for example, like this one here, we'll get rid of Assault Vest, obviously. You could put a Covert Cloak on that instead, so you might be able to, do something here. You could even go Drain Punch as well. That, like, Bulk Up Drain Punch it's still going to hit pretty hard, and you might give it some more survivability, so that's another option there for singles, doubles. But back to what I was saying before, this is a Rest Sleep Talk one. We've got Terra Fighting, so we're just hitting as hard as possible with Drain Punch. Obviously, I'm countered by Ghost, so before you send this in, make sure you get rid of any Ghost types. Fairy types would be very handy as well. Once they're out the way and it's got a couple of bulks up happening, it's pretty good, right? There are some other ways you could run this. You could get rid of leftovers, get it a Chesto Berry, drop Sleep Talk, and then you want to give it something like some kind of coverage move. There are options like Sucker Punch. That's pretty good. That allows you to at least go first and hit pretty hard still. And then you can always rest off on something that's not as much of a threat against it, right? So that's another way of running it. This is a set that I made up. It's a gimmicky, but it's quite a fun set. Quite a good nickname too. Temper Tantrum, get it? Stomping Tantrum and Temper Flare. So this is pretty cool. So we've got Heavy Duty Boots as the item, Reckless Ability, and Blaze. Both of these don't matter at all. Like this actually doesn't really matter for any of those abilities, but EVs here. So we've got Max Health and Max Attack, Brave Nature. This one you'll probably want to have going under Trick Room. So we can obviously go first. And then we've got Sucker Punch and Focus Punch. So Focus Punch is a move that works well with Stomping Tantrum and Temper Flare, because if it does fail, you get that double base power. And you also got Sucker Punch too, so maybe a Sucker Punch failure could work too, alongside Temper Flare, which will double on base power if a move fails alongside Stomping Tantrum too. So bit of an interesting set there. I went Terra type Dark on this one, so any Psychic type moves, you could just go Terra Dark and then, I don't know, maybe you can go Focus Punch that turn or Predict or something like that. It's a fun set, right? And maybe give that a try. I'd say that's definitely working more in singles than doubles. Now, Emboar doesn't have a bad special attack stat, so I thought, let's have a look at a special attack one. Let's see what we can do here. So I've got this max speed and max special attack one. I tried to make a speedy one. It's not very speedy, but with Blunder Policy, it actually is pretty speedy. So we've got Modest Nature maximizing its special attack, which is okay. And with Blunder Policy, if we do have a miss, we're going to get a speed rise by 2. So, it's going to be very, very quick then. So we've got Fire Blast, which is a powerful fire type move. It's not 100% accurate too, so you've got a chance of activating that. Terra Blast Grass isn't all that bad either. That will work against any opposing like water Pokemon, like rock and stuff like that. Also got Scald. It does get Scald. I guess Scald's like boiling water, so that gives us some more, little bit of extra coverage as well against like an opposing fire type. And we've got Focus Blast as its most powerful fighting type move there. And obviously, Shaky Accuracy to give you a boost on Blunder Policy. More singles on that one. I would definitely use that one in singles rather than doubles if you really, really want to. So, yeah, let's have a look at Emboar and some more things about it. It doesn't really... There's not too much else to this Pokemon, I have to be honest. Looking at its status move, it's pretty barren. So we've got Bulk Up, we sort of went over that. It does have Curse, so you might be able to make use of Curse under Trick Room and stuff like that. That could work. And speaking of Trick Room, I've mentioned that a lot. Let's have a look at a good Trick Room partner. What would go well with Emboar? So Emboar, I would say, Meowscarlet. That's actually kind of interesting. So like, just thinking on the spot, right? So this is weak to like Psychic. Like that's a Dark type. This is weak to Fire. Not bad, right? So you could have a Meowscarlet Trick Room. So that'd be pretty cool. The only thing is they're both weak to Flying too, so that may not work out, but it could be interesting. You might be able to make use of Protein or something like that and change your type. You could change your type to a Psychic type anyway, so that's interesting. There are obviously lots of other Trick Room Pokemon. I was just thought that was pretty cool. So anything that's like Hatterene's going to be good. That's a Psychic type. That'll work. I would suggest Hatterene. It's bulky. You've also got Slowking Galar wouldn't be too bad as well. That would be another one. So you've got a couple of Trick Room Pokemon there that could definitely work too. Depending on, of course, what rule you're playing. So, yep. Anyway, let's have a look at Emboar's stats and stuff and moves it gets. Last sort of minute of thoughts on everything like that. So, excuse me. So, we got Protected. We've sort of gone over that. Rest. Raw. I don't really see that being a good phasing Pokemon. It's a fire type. It's not really good unless you've got like... I don't know. It's just its typing isn't the greatest. We've got Substitute. You might be able to make use of like Sub and Sub Punch or something. It does get Will-O-Wisp, so you might be able to go for like, I don't know, some crazy supporting set. I don't know, I'm making this up on the spot here. So it does get Will-O-Wisp. It gets Coaching as well, which is interesting, but I don't know. I feel like you're missing out on that big attack stat, like just by making it tanky, and it's really not all that tanky. So yeah, I don't see Coaching being all that good at all. Will-O-Wisp could be interesting, but most definitely like Gimmicky. Yeah, it gets virtually nothing else there. Helping Hand and Yawn. Yawn could be interesting. That's about it. Maybe if you had any Stealth Rocks or Spikes, Entry Hazard on the field. Let's have a look at his physical moves here. It gets some good physical moves. It gets body press, which is interesting. Its defense isn't very high, so I don't see that being like that useful. Close combat's good. Double edge is another recoil move, so that's another reckless move. Drain punch, we sort of went on about that. Pretty good on Emboar actually, sustaining it. Earthquake sort of looked at that. Endeavor. What else? Flame charge. So it does have flame charge. If you do want to make it speedy, that could possibly work. Hammer arm, I already sort of had a look at that one. In Trick Room, that could possibly work. Head smash is pretty cool. We talked about that Ogre Pond damage calculations. That's not too bad. Now, it does get Heat Crash and Heavy Slam, so it is a fairly heavy Pokemon. So if you want to go for something a little bit more niche, you could do that. What we've got here, not too much else here. Knockoff, we already said. Knockoff and Sucker Punch, that's great for that Dark type coverage. That's pretty good. And yeah, we've got like Trail Blaze and Flame Charge to boost speed. I like Wild Charge on it as Terra Electric. I really like that. And interesting enough, it gets Zen Headbutt too, which is for a Psychic type, which is interesting. Apart from that, there's not too much else here. We're sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel here, I guess you could say. As for its special moves, if you are curious, it does get a few special moves, but it's nothing like totally amazing. I'm trying to think of something that could be... I did do a special moveset. I'm trying to think of something else on the spot here. I'll do a real Pimp Night special. All right, here we go. Let's do Blast Burn. I don't think this is going to be fast enough to try and do this there. So we've got Blast Burn and Eject button. So pop that Blast Burn off first, and then while you're on recharge, you'll get ejected out of there. The only bad thing is it's kind of like super fast. Super slow. Maybe you have to go ahead and make it timid. Yeah, you'd have to make it timid. So go for the Blast Burn and then get ejected out of there. Now, is there anything else that would benefit from not having an item? There's not too much here. I don't know. I'm trying to play around this set. Oh, I've got a set that you could actually work here. Just thought of it then. We have a special one. So another partner that would work well with Emboar would be Torkoal as well. Anything like that would be useful. So say we're running a Torkoal as a teammate or as some sort of like, I don't know, some kind of drought Pokemon like Ninetales or something like that. So we got that Solar Beam, we got that Fire Blast. That's going to work like really great. We could go timid on that. So that's kind of nice. And what else we got here? We got Terra Blast. I got Focus. We'll do Focus Blast. That's cool. That's pretty nice. You could pop Sunny Day on there too if you want to set up your own sun. That could be a definite possibility. I'm trying to think of anything else that would be good. It doesn't have much to like boost its special attack. It's quite a barren Pokemon, you know. Yeah, you put Sunny Day on there, and then you could have Heat Rock on there to increase that the turn duration of Heat Rock. The sun to like 8 turns, so that could be it. It's another Pimp Night special set there. But seriously, that's pretty much it for Emboar. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. Most of the time, you're going to see either a Choice Band set, an Assault Vest set, or a mixture of both. It can run some sort of like little gimmicks, like bulk up gimmicks, but most of the time, it's going to be using sort of Assault Vest or Choice Band variants. It's a very hard hitter, but it's not going to be around for too long there. Especially with Reckless, right? And its speed. It's a pity its speed wasn't better, but I can see this definitely working in Trick Room. If you have a good Trick Room team, this going first would hit very hard. You could be a great like wall breaker for sure. Like absolutely like a beast, right? So anyway, that's pretty much it for Emboar. If you got anything to add, I don't know, maybe a moveset that you use or something you've tried, put it below in the comment section. If there's a Pokemon you want to see me cover that I haven't covered yet, just check that playlist out first before you leave a comment there. Put it below there. I'll usually try and go for the ones that most people are interested in. I do plan to do them all, but, maybe some will get done faster if more people want to see that kind of thing. Anyway, people, if you enjoyed it, drop a like there, leave a comment, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.